Hello and welcome once again to the E-Arsenal podcast. Well, the end of November has obviously introduced the arrival of December, as it were, and hopefully a fresh picture on the horizon for Arsenal Football Club, as was yesterday. We're here once again to talk everything Arsenal that's happened over the weekend. A couple of transfer rumours, perhaps, looking ahead to the Champions League, the vital game in versus Olympiacos in midweek. And once again, I'm here with Mr. Diamond Jack.
Hello. How are we all? I hope we're all well.
Yeah, pretty good. I should say Paul is without us again. I did say he'd be back, but he's got a few
health-related issues.
Yes, and we wish him well with that, and he will be back with us, I'm sure, very, very soon. So, which reminds me, if you would like to contribute to this podcast, you can. You can contact either of us on Twitter at the 91st Neil, or Jack, which is at
Diamond _ Jack. Yep.
Or our actual Twitter page, which is E_ArsenalNet, all one word, or the Facebook page, or any other way which can come into it. Let's ramble onto it later on. It's the Sunderland game. I mean, I said at the end of the podcast last week that we should get the win, and we did. It just seemed like for the first 25 minutes that we couldn't really. I mean, I think the players looked around and they saw, right, hold on, there's no Alexis, there's no Santi. And that's perfectly reasonable. But until that 25 minutes had passed, and Joel scored the opening goal, we looked pretty nervous. I mean, is that how you saw it, Jack?
I don't think it was just the first 25 minutes, Neil, to be honest with you. I think that the I think the defensive line looks quite nervous the whole game. It started with Barini breaking through in the first sort of 10 minutes. I mean, even first 5 minutes, I think it was, and forcing Peter Cech into a really, really good save. And then, I think the back line, for some reason, just it isn't full of confidence at the moment. Now, I don't know whether that's got something to do with Coquelin not being there, or direction from the management, or confidence and belief in their own selves, or whatever it is. But it just felt that nervous is the words that kept coming up yesterday from commentators, from pundits, from other fans, from other fans of fans of other clubs, was that we looked nervous at the back. And you're right. Up until Joel got the first goal, it was kind of touch and go for a little bit, because Sunderland had some really good chances.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for want of not wanting to repeat ourselves again, what you just said about Francis Coquelin, it makes a lot of sense, really, and not seeing him ahead of them in that back four, and Matthew Flamini instead. I mean, it doesn't really instill a huge amount of belief and confidence in the side, does it, really? No,
I think that because there's two very, very different players, I was quite glad to see Ramsey pushed into the middle as well. Again, I think, it's quite an obvious selection, because he's the only real other centre midfield player that we've got in there at the minute. But they're such different players, they're such different types of player in a very similar role, that it's definitely going to have an impact on the mentality of the back line. But I just think that the two centre halves should be grabbing hold of the two wide players and saying, okay, we move in a line, we always move in a line. If one goes, one stays, and it works with the centre halves as well. If one has to go forward to try and nick the ball off a midfield player or an attacker, one has to stay back. And usually that would be Koscielny pushing forward to try and nick the ball off someone, and Mertesacker retaining a little bit of the, what should we say, catch-up room. Do you know what I mean? Where someone can not necessarily break past him or something, but at least he's got a bit of time in order to kind of set himself back and stuff.
I haven't really noted it. But who were the winning players for Sunderland yesterday? Was it Lentz and
Blimey.
Sorry, it's a bit of a pub quiz for Jack here. Possibly Toivonen, I'm not sure. I think.
Yeah, Toivonen was definitely on yesterday from the start. The only, I'll be honest with you, the players that I were concentrating on most were Fabio Barini and the new kid, the Ginger
Duncan
Ninja.
Watmore.
Yeah, Duncan Watmore.
I know what it's funny. I think he looks he's very young, but he's a promising individual for Sunderland, definitely.
He's not young by Arsenal standards though. He is 21, so he'd be a senior member of the team in our side. Do you know what I mean?
He's just about to graduate with first class honours, I believe, from Newcastle University, something like that. So I don't blame him for feeling a bit apprehensive because he's largely an unknown quantity. Is Duncan Watmore, and so all the more reason for us to feel slightly apprehensive. It doesn't seem like we haven't kept a clean sheet now in, I think it's 4 games.
Well, let's talk about that because I think that the foul on Watmore was a little bit harsh. I think Koscielny getting a yellow card for it was harsh. Maybe Watmore just knocked the ball past him a little bit and he went down. But I think the way he went down was a little bit over-exaggerated, if you ask me. But again, the marking from the free kick, just, you've got the other striker, not Barini. What's the other one's name? The big one with the big beard. Danny
Stephen
Graham?
Fletcher.
Stephen Fletcher, yeah, that's it. Stephen Fletcher right at the back post, unmarked. If the ball gets dinked over there, that's a goal every single day of the week, especially with someone with his kind of shooting ability when he's in the mood. And
obviously Olivier Giroud's prowess in the box.
Oh mate, you can't give him that kind of room. It's he's lethal from those positions. It's mad. It was a freak.
I'm laughing about it now because
because we got the result. But I was standing in line getting a cup of tea at half time. Well, attempting to with the 2.5 mile long line it is to get a cup of tea at the Emirates. But I'm just watching it in the corridor, in the foyer, whatever you call it, concourse.
Yes.
And I'm standing there, and he's sort of swung his right foot at it, and I'm just going, get your left foot, just knock it anywhere with your left foot. It's such a stupid kind of half clearance that it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's strange because Giroud's very good defensively normally. He's often there to clear the head off the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a very weird sort of own goal. I just always think that if you're that side, you've always got to throw the foot that the ball's coming into. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's your weaker left foot, you've got to sort of just play the way you're facing almost with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think somewhat. Yeah. I mean, like when watching Soccer Saturday, I've seen the highlights, but watching Soccer Saturday as I did yesterday, and seeing, it's an Arsenal goal, and I just wasn't expecting the name Giroud to pop up.
No,
not necessarily because he was my fantasy captain yesterday.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to me. But you're right. I mean, Monreal nearly scored an own goal as well.
Yeah,
I think he was sort of backpedaling. He didn't really make a clever decision.
No.
So, I thought his days of that were over.
Yeah, and I think Hector had some really good moments again, but again there were a couple of instances where the ball was played over the back line, and either Watmore was in or Barini was in.
It looked a bit shaky.
It did. Yeah. It looked shaky. It didn't look accomplished. It didn't look like we had like a plan there. Do you know what I mean? And we were playing so. I just don't know. It seemed like every time we decided to either play deep or play a higher line, it was the wrong decision. Do you know what I mean? It was.
It's strange. Since he's come back from injury, it seems to have affected our whole back line.
Yeah, it really has. It's so strange to try and see what they're doing and the decision making process of it. I think we were just, and it showed in the crowds, and we were winning 2-1. towards the end of the game, and everyone's so nervous, so neurotically nervous about this kind of stuff. I mean, we haven't even spoken about Joel Campbell's goal yet, which I think was just brilliant. A brilliant finish, a brilliant pass via Ozil.
Yes.
And just, I can hear the smile on your face, man. Jesus Christ, let it go.
I'm going to quote a text I got from
you can, if you want.
100,000% Ozil's best game for Arsenal.
100%, yeah, absolutely. It was. Because he bossed it in the midfield. But, he needs to be doing that on a consistent basis.
You keep saying that, but
he does. Well, yeah, he is at the moment, and I'm absolutely loving it in a minute.
So it's 1,000,000%.
Yeah, yes. I made sure it was 6 zeros. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Wow. It was fantastic. There was a moment, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, and I'll try and get it put on the Facebook page as well. But there was a moment where the ball came loose on the right hand side of the pitch from an attempt from Sunderland, and the ball was cleared by Flamini, and the ball went up in the air, and Ozil, Cruyff turned and trapped the ball at the same time, and it's one of the most astonishing pieces of skill I've ever seen.
Well, I'm not particularly surprised because he does things like that.
It was just the whole stadium went, oh.
Yeah.
It was amazing what he did, but he just kept doing things like that, and he kept just seeing the ball and seeing the passes and stuff like that. But again, we got the result this time, which was good. But in order for me to fully be on board with it, and I don't want it to sound like I'm obsessed with it or anything like that, because I'm not. I genuinely want to.
I think you are.
I'm not at all. I'm not obsessed with it at all in any way, shape or form. But I just think that he in order for Arsenal to do well, Mesut Ozil needs to play well. And although I'm sure you're going to raise the point, he's 8 assists in a row now. That's fine, but we hadn't won.
Not actually. I was.
You were missed.
I was incorrect because he scored against Norwich, but he didn't assist.
Ah, right, okay. But that's our first win in 4 games. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the only stat I care about is how many wins we get. And I think that although it's great at the moment, it can only get better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just quickly on the subject of that Cruyff turn, it brings me back to memory many moons ago when I was watching the game at the Emirates, and Danielson did the same thing, and the whole stadium just stood up, and it was like, oh.
I think that was
many moons ago.
I think that was mainly out of shock that he'd actually done something like that, as opposed to a bit of skill.
But moving on, yeah, I think. Let's talk about Joel then. So it looks like he's, so Alexis is out, Santi's out, Ramsey's moved into midfield, and this, for me, right, there's 2 points here. This is the perfect opportunity for the Ox to really stake his claim, and he's not doing it again, even on either side. So Joel, whilst he keeps scoring, he's gonna keep Ox out the side, especially with Theo coming back.
Absolutely, and I'm absolutely happy for that to happen, so long as he keeps scoring. But similarly, we've already said Duncan Watmore's a young man. So is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's still only 21, 22. He's still a young man. He's still got time on his side and stuff. I just think that whoever plays in that position needs to stake a claim for themselves. Now, in my opinion, just before you raise your point, my opinion is that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is going to be around at Arsenal for a lot longer than Joel Campbell, no matter what happens.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with that.
I think that it's more for Joel. It's more a case of attracting other parties to purchase, as opposed to building the future for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, despite what Giroud said about him, there's so much more to come from him. Well, I think if he gets a run of games to go and he keeps scoring, then fantastic. I think he could be really important, especially in the second half of the season. Yeah. When Danny Welbeck's knee flares up after returning after 10 minutes.
Oh, blimey.
So with Theo back, what do we do now? Do we leave? I'm going to come on to this a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But so does he play on the right again now? You think for the moment?
Who are we talking about? Walcott or Campbell?
Yeah, for Theo, yeah.
Walcott.
And then Joel on the left. I know he can't go on the left, so maybe. I mean, I've raised the point now, but I've thought how pretty stupid it is, really, unless Theo goes on the left. I don't really see that.
I don't see Walcott on the left working particularly well.
But better than Ox at the moment.
I just think you got to play your best team in the best positions. You know, you play players where they're most naturally suited to play, and I think that it's tough really, because when Walcott was in the side earlier on in the season, we looked bloody good, and so did he. I think that potentially Walcott and Giroud in the same side doesn't really work. But I think at this point, going into the Christmas season, you've got to play your strongest team as often. Well, I think you should do it every time. But you know, I'm not a football manager. But I think you just got to play your strongest team as much as possible now, because whoever says it, whoever wants to turn it off or whatever, we are in for a shout at the season. We are in for a shout at the title this year now.
Well, it's so unpredictable. Like I said this at the start of the season, I thought it might happen. Just not necessarily the quality is better. The teams are just close together. I think it's the best Premier League season in probably about a decade.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. It's so exciting nowadays. But I just think that if all we need to do is worry about ourselves, and I think that, I mean, I'll open it up to you then. What do you think? Walcott and Giroud at the same time? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I think with Villa coming up next week, I think it might be a prime opportunity, because we could really get at Villa and expose them. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Mm-hmm. So yeah, quotation mark. But I don't know. With the way Joel's going on the right, he probably will continue, and then it's just a case of, I think Giroud will probably start again.
Well, I was going to say,
what happens in midweek, really.
I was going to say, do you think he would drop Giroud and play Walcott up front against Villa like he did in the FA Cup final, and then start Giroud against City? Because City centre halves yesterday looked abysmal.
I think the wind had a lot to do with that yesterday, but still they were pretty shambolic by Premier League standards. I
mean, if we're looking at our defensive line, and you're looking at City's, and people are saying it's us two for the league this year, I mean, bloody hell, City's yesterday looked horrendous compared to ours. Otamendi, I mean, I really like him. I thought I did at least, but they're just a shambles without company, like at the back.
Well, I'm tempted to agree with you, but I've always thought of company as a bit overrated, but it's kind of proving my points a little bit, not necessarily flawed, but that when he's not there, they just look really, really awful.
Yeah, they do, really awful. But I think that if we saved Giroud, I'd play Walcott I'd start Walcott in Greece, and I'd start him against the Villa. And then I'd bring Giroud back for the Monday night game against City, because I think he would cause their two centre-halves absolute hell. I really do. He's so...
If Theo's fit, I think he starts in Greece.
I do too. And for me, if you're fit enough to make the bench, you're fit enough to start a game. For me. Because imagine, okay, heaven forbid that Olivier Giroud goes up for his first header of the game, gets an elbow to the face, breaks his nose, and he has to come off. Walker has to come onto the pitch then, in the first minute. So if he's not fit enough to play from the first minute, he can't be fit enough for the bench, surely.
Well, I mean, hopefully he's warmed up this time.
Sure, yeah.
Get injured.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's interesting things to think about. So let's go back to Ramsey. Excellent to see him, playing central, basically in Santi's role. I'm not too sure, because Santi was on the left, and then Flammy. It's confusing. I think that also, but it's essential anyway, and that's where he's best. If he can just get up slightly behind the front four and then just kind of boss the game, which he did. And okay, it's only Sunderland. We'll have a tougher test, but it was quite impressive. Ramsey could have had 2 yesterday.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant. He had most touches. He had most shots from us. He had the most pass accuracy from us. He was brilliant. He genuinely did his job, and I think I've been saying it for quite a while now that I think that his best position is in the centre there. Unfortunately, he's got Francis Coquelin, who is undroppable as far as I'm concerned, and Santi Cazorla in there as well, who Arsene loves and a lot of the fans love as well. And when he's on his day, he's one of the most talented footballers in the league. So he's got a bloody tough job on to get in the middle there. Now, I just think that it's so refreshing to actually see someone just come in and slot into a role like that and just make it themselves and make it their own even. And he was I was willing him to score a goal yesterday as well, because he really deserved it. And it was a really good finish actually, because he sort of peeled off the bloke and found space in the middle after Chambers had a shot, didn't he?
I tell you what, that's what Ramsey does. He finds, even if it's like, so they're talking about Bobby Zamora yesterday for Brighton. All his goals are 2 yards out, pretty much. But it's just kind of the same. Ramsey, that's all you need to do. You just have to be in the right place at the right time, and that's what Ramsey was so good in that season. That I think he's got 11 goals in. I can't remember. So the more he keeps doing that, the better. The
one that it reminds me of, well, not necessarily reminds me of, but the one that automatically springs to mind for me is Freddie Ljungberg. Freddie used to do it all the time. Just see the run, see the flight of the ball, dip inside the centre half and knock him in. You know what I mean? And Freddie scored some absolutely blinding goals. Don't get me wrong, but he had that knack of being able to find the space in between the two centre halves, or between the centre half and the left or right back, and just fit in there and just slot one home from 10 yards in almost. You know what I mean? He was legendary at doing that.
Yeah. So I mean, this brings me on to a little question we're going to raise for you listeners here. I think this could be the start of Ramsey really pushing on this season now. He's got really, as long as he stays fit, he's going to be in that central role pretty much. He's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. So what I want to ask, is this the time that Ramsey's going to push on this season and perhaps, I don't know, head towards 10 goals perhaps? I mean, I think it's possible if he could stay fit. If you to air your views, you can go to the Facebook page or you can contact us on Twitter, and we'd like to hear your views on this. What do you think, Jack? Is
he going to get up to 10 goals this season?
Or push on? Do you know
push on. I think that he could really develop his overall game by having the time in the middle of the pitch at the moment. Now, when the two come back from injuries, is he going to have done enough in order to maintain that? That's a question I don't know the answer to yet.
He's got a while. I think he's got 2 more.
He's got a long old time to establish himself in there. One thing that is, again, another thing with Aaron is he going to stay fit? Which hopefully, Jesus, I hope he does, because we do not need to lose another central midfield player.
Generally, his fitness is good.
Yeah, generally.
He generally, he get long-term injuries has been his. I don't want to say Achilles heel because he's a pun, but he doesn't really get niggling injuries. He picks up knocks, and it's really, how long has he been out? It's about 5 weeks, I think it was his last one. Mm-hmm. And again, he looks. Sometimes it takes him to get injured and then to come back just to be a refreshed character. And hopefully, that this is the case again.
Yeah, I hope so.
Nice.
I really hope so, and I think that if everything goes to plan, he could be a really valuable, as you say, member of the squad in that position. I mean, I'd love to see Coquelin and Ramsey in there together. I think that would be gorgeous. But I think that it's definitely time for Aaron, if he wants to play in central midfield, because everyone knows that he doesn't like playing out on the right. If he wants to take the claim to play in central midfield, this is the time to do it. What does he play in central midfield for Wales, or does he play as more of the number 10?
Plays more of a number 10.
Right. Okay.
More an attacking role.
Well, he's never going to get in there in a minute, is he? But
Oh no.
it's if he wants to not be pushed out to the right, because he's not a winger. I think you agree with me with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Yeah, he's not a winger at all.
But he's done well in that position.
Absolutely.
It's taken a while.
Absolutely, and but I think that's the mark of him as a player, and the mark of his footballing brain as well, is that he was able to develop himself as to play in that role, but not be a conventional right-sided winger, but someone who can cut inside and link play together in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
I really like him a lot, and I think he could be, like I said before, and like you said, a really valuable member of the squad.
Yeah, I mean, just looking ahead to the crucial Olympiacos game of the week, I think he might be the key player. I don't want to really. We don't really have a choice. I don't really want to kind of force too many games on him too soon.
We ain't got no one else playing there, mate.
Unfortunately, that's it. Just going off topic slightly, should we all take a minute to laugh at Chelsea?
I've always loved Bournemouth as a city, haven't you? Lovely seaside town.
When they went up, it was like absolute total fresh air in the Premier League. And, they could have taken the lead earlier in the first half. They were all over Chelsea, and Courtois made some good saves.
I have to say, I was a bit naughty yesterday. I went to the pub and offered a mate in there of mine who was fully wearing his Chelsea shirt. I went in there and offered him a bowl of cherries. So, yeah, and politely he threw them back at my face. So,
working in a Man United office, as I do, I'm obviously plucking up a million cherry puns when they beat Man United. It's at Dean Court.
Yeah,
on Saturday, I think.
It was so funny that it's just I just love seeing Jose's little face when they lose, and it was just.
I think the worrying thing for him is I thought Chelsea turned the corner.
Yeah, everyone did. Yeah, it's brilliant. But here's the question for you: do you think that was a penalty?
Which incident do you?
When Costa's tried to, in inverted commas, cross the ball and.
Oh, the handball, absolutely, yeah.
Do you think that was a penalty?
Yeah.
I cannot disagree with you enough.
Stone.
I don't agree. There's no. How can? Yeah, but how can you?
Arm extended, slid out. I don't care. He's defender. He should not do that.
But how can you? You can't slide in with your arms by your sides. He's just sort of. It's mad. Like he's stable.
That is the way it is. For me, that was. Yeah, I think that I watched that.
And also, explain to me because I'm sure you know the rules of this a little bit better than I do. How were people saying that Glenn Murray was offside?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
I don't understand, because Gary Cahill was standing in the middle of the area, like, playing him onside. But 100 million %. Is it that Gary Cahill was behind the goalkeeper, or... I don't get that at all.
I'm not sure, because I can't... I'll have to look at it again later on.
It was so strange. People would say, he's offside, 100% he's offside. It was mad. Absolutely mad. But, just what a day for Bournemouth and their supporters. I mean, especially after last week, when they absolutely 100% deserved something at the Everton game, and, they got that late equaliser. And to go there and beat the champions, it's just dreamland, isn't it? And then... It's so funny that Chelsea, and I mean, it has been an absolutely brilliant week to be an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. Well,
City dropping points, United dropping points, Chelsea dropping points, Liverpool, they're back. It's their year this year, Liverpool.
Yeah. Next is Yar. On the subject of Bournemouth, just don't want to get off Arsenal too much.
Yep.
But obviously, United do go to Dean Court on Saturday. Now, I'll tell you what: if they don't attack, then Bournemouth will, and they will beat them.
I tell you, United are in serious trouble in a minute.
Well, yeah, they are still like 3 points off the top.
But yet they are so boring. It's unbelievable.
Well, yeah.
It's just they can't. They've signed Anthony Martial. I swear to goodness, right? Martial, if he was at our side at the minute, everyone would be raving about him because
I was talking about this with a fellow Gooner, and we both came to the conclusion that Martial scored that brilliant goal on debut, but he's a bit rubbish.
I don't think he's necessarily rubbish. I think that he's being mismanaged because he's signed in the summer as a prospect coming through, and literally the entire weight of the world has been put on his shoulders.
I totally agree. The hopes of United
absolutely
on his back.
100%, because he scored 4 goals in his first games. Now, if he was at Arsenal, he'd be he'd be coming on every so often. He'd be scoring a couple more goals. He'd be getting more service. He'd be doing this, that, and the other. I just think that he's been so undermanaged, just mismanaged as a player.
Well, that's no secret. It's Louis van Gaal.
It's hilarious. It's absolutely and Memphis Depay, another one, just completely mismanaged. They just can't. They look devoid of confidence at the minute. Man United.
And with Herrera out and with Rooney out yesterday, I thought yesterday was the perfect opportunity against West Ham. We aren't really particularly defensively sound to either play the number 10 or the lone role, but instead he played Fellaini.
No, just mad, absolutely mad. But it is absolutely hilarious.
It doesn't work rocket scientist to figure it out when you've got Marion Fellaini as your number 10, and that's your first team choice instead of a pacey, a really quick, pretty intelligent player who has scored. Well, at least he scored, I don't know when Fellaini scored his last goal. No. So going back on top again, sorry listeners. So Olympiacos in the week. Mm-hmm. So we need to win by 2 goals or 3-2. Can we do it?
Probably. Don't care. I don't care, Neil. I really wish I cared. But I genuinely don't.
I said this before. You should care because otherwise we'll be on Thursday nights and we'll be playing Sunday football every single weekend.
Yeah.
And not on TV.
Oh, actually, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I just don't.
Dodgy streams. We condone that.
I just think that it's. Okay. Yes, we should have enough for, and we should go through to the next round. Then we'll see who we get knocked out by in the next round. But I'll tell you what I'm more excited for is the FA Cup draw on Monday night. It's so much more exciting, It's our trophy, 3 times in a row. Has that ever been done before? Would you have some money on that?
Not that I can think of.
Oh, I have some money on that, mate. Double season, eh? If we win the double this year, we will be the worst team to ever win the double.
Ain't that the truth? But it is so open. Realistically, I can only see us and City winning it.
Mm-hmm. Or Leicester.
Yeah, absolutely, or Leicester. I do want to bring this up. In your opinion, they're top now by 2 points.
Yeah.
And I fully fancy them to beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think everyone's playing on Saturday. It is on Saturday.
Apart from us.
It's Monday night. It's Monday night. Next Monday night. Monday Night Football.
God, that's going to be some game, that.
I know. I'm looking forward to it already. So I think, the Christmas period will tell, but I back them to beat anyone at the moment.
Yep.
And when Mahrez has got 10 goals, and between Vardy and Mahrez, they've got 24 goals.
Bloody Nora.
23 goals. It's completely insane.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's completely insane. So the thing is, when Mahrez might either get injured or something like that, and Vardy might get injured,
mm-hmm.
I don't believe that for a minute. They still have got a Joa, and they still have got Albright, who are very quality players.
Yep.
He was a quality player.
Yeah.
And I think they've got enough in there. If they buy, I think maybe they need to get another striker in the window.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see them finishing outside the top 4 at least at the moment.
Leicester City in the Champions League.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, Wouldn't it be hilarious?
I've always thought I fancied Leicester when they came up last season to do really well. And they have done, but it's taken a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, they survived by the skin of their teeth last year. And
Tinkerman's coming, and he's complete. I don't know what it is. I think it's the incentive of pizza that have made them so good.
WKD Blue for Jamie Vardy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Another clean sheet yesterday, albeit against a really poor Swansea side who now look like they're going to lose Gary Monk for David Moyes, by the sounds of it.
Oh, Jesus.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
To tell the truth, Moyes is a good manager and he'll turn them around. I don't know yet. Leicester, that's what I mean. I think I'd back them against anyone. And me just saying that in such a hard to predict season where everyone will take points of everybody.
It's just so much fun to watch. They're just so much fun to watch. Bournemouth, another side, just so much fun to watch. Just play football, you know what I mean? I'm so glad that this anti-football, park the bus nonsense is dying as very slow death. I'm so happy.
I think we've had a role reversal. I think Stoke have turned into Man United.
Stoke are bloody brilliant.
I think Man United have turned into
Stoke. I swear to God, I never thought I'd say this, but I absolutely loved watching Stoke yesterday.
Yeah.
They were a joy to. And Arnautovic is like the new Ibrahimovic, mate. He's so good. And Shaqiri, I mean, the geezer's a little pud.
He's basing that on his nose.
Mate, he's a little pud, is Shaqiri, but bloody hell, he's twisting and turning, knocking it through people's legs. Jesus Christ, it's so refreshing to watch that now people actually want to come and play football against each other. And I'm so glad that the Darth Vader of stupid, rubbish, defensive football, Jose Mourinho, is falling off his perch. It seems like everything in the world of football is going right at the minute. I love it so much. It's so refreshing. It's so much. I just hope that the game, us and City, I hope it is as free flowing and as end to end as it can be and as it should be. From putting my football hat on there for a second, I just hope it's an absolute model for our game. On putting my Arsenal hat back on, I hope we just nick a 1-0 and it's a boring game up to that point. You know what I mean? But I think that out of the two teams, every neutral will say they much rather us or City win it than someone like Chelsea or the current Manchester United team. Do you know what I mean? Because at least we are the entertaining ones to watch football. I think why Arsenal fans are so nervous and why we're so neurotic with everything, if we lose, it's the end of the world. If we win, we're going to win the league. It's because we are literally that unpredictable. Do you know what I mean? No one knows what's going to happen with Arsenal. And I think it's translated like that into the league this year as well. We're almost a bit of a microcosm of it, where it's so difficult to predict what's going to happen on a week-by-week basis in the league this year. I mean, I can't imagine trying to do an accumulator at any point this year. It's just terrifying.
Well, betting's a mug's game.
I agree, but people enjoy betting. I just can't. I do not understand how anyone can look at form guides and go, yeah, I'll have some money on that. I'll have some money on that. It's just terrifying. Like,
is that out the window?
Yeah. It's mad. You cannot predict anything this year.
No, absolutely. So just to wrap things up, going to Greece, where we've not won. We've lost the last 3 games in Greece. I mean, it's a huge ask to go there and win, especially by 2 goals.
We should have enough.
You think so?
Yeah, we should have enough.
Okay, can I get a prediction?
2-1.
It's not enough.
I know.
Okay.
I think we will, but we are Arsenal, mate. I reckon we will go 2-0 up, and they'll score in the 93rd minute or something mad like that. That's what will happen.
Exactly that.
That's what will happen, mate.
Yeah. Well, I think. I'll go with that 2-1. 2-1. And that'd be absolute tragedy, but never mind.
Yeah.
And obviously, Villa away next week.
Oh.
Traditionally a tough place to go.
I've said that to a couple of people, and I think that at some point it has to get better for the Villa, because they are an absolute shower at the minute. But I hope it's not against us, because
I think we've got too much pace.
I just hope so. I really hope so, Neil. You know what I think? I was thinking the other day is, although we won 3-1 yesterday, it wasn't. It didn't flatter us. It was definitely a result that we deserved, but we haven't absolutely given someone a tonking for a while. Do you know what I mean? And I reckon if Villa don't do something about it, we could really, really hurt next week. And I'm not going to make a prediction on it because it's terrifying.
Going to Greece and then having to play Villa on Sunday.
Yeah. It's a 1:30 kickoff on Sunday as well.
It is.
So, but top teams, this is what you have to do. You know what I mean? It's a very, very...
Okay, realistically, Southampton should have absolutely tonked Villa yesterday.
Yep.
Mane missed about 4 absolutely glorious chances.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fact they drew, I just can't believe that, really. So, we'll get the chances, we just have to put them away.
That's it. That's it.
That's what it'll come down to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's...
so long as we can put our chances away, we will win. That is it.
Sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It is, mate. It is a simple old game, but it's these are the types of games that win you championships, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's when you don't, when these little teams, you expect to steamroll them, and they come and they really press you, and they really want to work you and stuff like that, because Remy Gard will definitely want to win. He want to put one over Arsene, like, do you know what I mean? So it's these types of games that, historically people like Man United, people like Chelsea, City, they grind out results against these teams. I just want us to tonk them next week and move on from there.
That'd be lovely. Prediction for that, just quickly.
I don't know.
I'll go 2-1 us.
Oh, blimey. I'll go 5-0 us.
Nice, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to get a clean sheet, but
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. So. Okay, thanks very much, Jack.
You're welcome.
Cheers for being with us. What's your Twitter for us?
My Twitter handle again is @diamond__Jack. Please send us replies to Neil's question about Aaron Ramsey to even my Twitter account, or to Neil's, which he will give you in a second, I'm sure, because we really, really want some more interaction with you guys. And the Facebook group is really starting to kick off into livelihood now, so it's a bit of a dangerous waters there sometimes, especially after we lose. But it's a good crack we've got going on in there at the minute. So I want to see some more posts in there, please.
Absolutely, and if you'd like to contribute to the podcast, you can. And Jack can contact Jack. You can contact me at the 91st Neil. That's at the 91STNEIL. I'm going to get that stapled to the hammer to the wall, maybe onto my forehead. So
I know a great tattoo artist, mate.
Yeah, why not? At the extreme. Or you can contact us on the group Twitter, _ArsenalNet, or one word, or the Facebook page. And please do contribute on that. Thanks again for listening. Let's see if we can get the job done in Greece on Wednesday night. We'll see. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Come on, Arsenal.